How's it going, guys? Jared here, and today we're going to be talking about how to make your very own Tic-Tac-Toe or Tic-Tac-Toe application. So first and foremost, let's open up Xcode, let's create a new project, and let's call it Tic-Tac-Toe, because why not? And with the project, we're going to be working specifically with SwiftUI, so that's something to keep in mind here. And as you can imagine right here, let's imagine we have a grid. We have a grid of 9 squares. Each of these squares is going to have a certain status. And so as you could probably imagine, this status is going to be whether they are an X, an O, or they have nothing at all. It's that simple. So first and foremost, we're going to create an enum in which we're going to call this square status. And from here inside of the square status, we're going to have a case in which it's inactive, case in which it's home, and a case in which it's a visitor. You can assign home or visitor X or O as you please, but that's how that works. The next step, we need to apply this square status to our controller. Now, in order to do so, we're going to go ahead and say class Tic-Tac-Toe model, in which this is going to be an observable object, and this is going to be the place where we handle all of the logic that happens with Tic-Tac-Toe. So first and foremost to that is we're going to create an array of our square statuses. And so in order to do that, we're going to say at published var squares will be equal to an array, and now we want it to be an array of our square statuses, but we can't just apply the square status directly to this array. So in order to do so, we're going to say class square. This is going to be an observable object. Inside of here, we're going to say at published var square status colon and then square status again. Then once we initialize this, or anytime that it's the first time being called, we're going to say init status colon square status and then say self.square status will be equal to status. And so now going back into our Tic-Tac-Toe model, we can say now finish up our array here and say equal to an array of our square. Now with our Tic-Tac-Toe model, the first time that we call it, we want it to autofill that array of squares with empty square statuses. And so in order to do that, we initialize it, and inside of that, we say for blank in 0.8. And so between 0 and 8, 9 squares total. As we're going through these 9 squares, we're iterating through 0 through 8, we're going to say squares.append, and then our square with a square status of empty. So boom, there we have it. We have an array of empty squares right now. The next step in order to apply this Tic-Tac-Toe model, we need to connect it to our view. So in order to do so, we're going to say at state object will be equal to, and then our Tic-Tac-Toe model, open close parentheses, this will initialize it and automatically fill that array. Then inside of our body, all we really need to do is create a grid. So in order to do that, we're going to say vstack and then for each in 0 ... less than Tic-Tac-Toe model dot squares dot count divided by 3. Then for our content, we're going to say row in. This will allow us to have our rows, right? And then we also need to create our columns. So in order to do that, we're going to say hstack, and then essentially like we did before, we're going to say for each are 0 ... less than 3. Then just to pre-fill things, I'm going to say color.gray and give it a frame of 70. And as you can see, we have our grid. It's amazing, right? Okay, so now let's make it do stuff. So in order to replace that color, we're going to go ahead and say struct square view colon view, in which inside of our body, we're going to have a button. And then finally, in order to determine whether we're going to be using an X or an O or whatever, we need to include at observed object var square colon square. So that square is, of course, holding our status to which we can use to determine which text or which image, if you want to do that, we should show to the person. For our purposes, we're going to be using text. So going back into our button, we're going to say text self.datasource.square status will be equal to .home. And then question mark, and then this is called a tuple, right? So it's essentially like an if statement. So if this first part is correct, self.datasource.square status is equal to home, then we're going to present an X. Otherwise, that's what the colon is there for. We're going to say self.datasource.square status is equal to .visitor, question mark, we're going to show a 0. Otherwise, if none of those are true, we're going to just show a blank screen, and so therefore it can just be an empty string. Then finally, just to make things prettier, if you want to do that, you can say .font, we'll make it a large title, we'll make it bold, we'll have a foreground color of black, and then the frame will be 70 by 70 with the alignment of center so that it's a certain size. And then of course our background, I'm just going to make it a color.gray with an opacity of 0.3. I think that looks good to me. And then I don't like sharp edges, so I'm going to give it a slight corner radius of 10. Then finally, instead of having it all like mushed up together like we had before, we can say dot padding and give it 4. And so now that we have our button built out, we're going to go ahead and replace where we initially had the color with that square view that we just created. And so in order to do so, we're going to say, instead of color, we're going to say square view for the data source, in which we say tic-tac-toe model.squares, and then we need to determine which square we are currently looking at. So there's a simple equation here in which we just say row times 3 plus the column. So if our row is 0 times 3, it's 0. And our row is going to be 0, 0, 0, and then it's going to be 1, 1, 1, and 2, 2, 2, and so on and so forth. So 0 times 3 plus 1, that gives us 1, so on and so forth. And so that's how you determine which is the current square that we're looking at. So we're going to take that, plunk that right into our brackets there, and then just to make it a little bit cleaner, we can say let index equal, and then just plunk the equation right there. Now, as soon as this button is pressed, we want it to do something. So we want it to actually do something on the previous view, not anything on the button itself. So in order to provide an action for the button to press, we say var action colon, and then we say open close parentheses will be equal to, or arrow, void. And so this is essentially saying when we create a button, we want an action attached directly to that button from the previous view. And so now going back into our previous view, we can say func button action, and then inside of here we can give it an index so we can decide which square we pressed exactly. And then something I'm not going to clarify here, I essentially just added a label called Tic-Tac-Toe at the top, and you can see the code yourself. All right, so now we have our view built, we have a button. Now we need to work on the logic section of everything before these buttons actually really do anything. And so going back into our tic-tac-toe model, we're going to go through a few steps here. First, we're going to create func reset game, in which I'm going to say exactly basically what I had inside of my initializer. I write it here wrong, but we'll fix this a little bit later in the future. In which we say for blank in 0.8, we say squares.append square status with the array of empty. Whereas this is actually wrong, where we want to basically reset the current array that we have and then append. So keep that in mind. In the future, I will change this. Then we need to create a function for what actually gets called when we press the button itself. We're going to call this make move. And so here we want to determine whether or not the square is empty first and foremost. And so we say func make move for the index, and then also the player, so the square status, and then we're wanting to return true or false. Then if it's empty, then we're going to actually apply which player made the move, whether that be either the AI, the visitor, the home, or whatever you end up programming here. And if the player, made the move, then we automatically want to trigger our AI to move as well. So we're going to say if player is equal to .home, then we're going to move the AI. But we have to program this function. So let's move on. Then after that, we're going to say return true. Otherwise, we're going to say return false. Next, before we can move our AI, we want to first determine if there is a winner. And so in order to do that, we're going to say private var there is a winner colon square status. Then we're going to get, and then if let check equal, and then we need to call another function here. The basic fundamentals of understanding if there is a winner or not is having 3 in a row. So 3 in a row could mean having it horizontal, vertical, in which in our programming terms, we're going to have it, if it's 0, 1, 2, then, and they're all home, then that is a winner. 3, 4, 5, that is also a winner, and so on for diagonal and everything. And so in order to check if there's a winner, we're going to iterate through each of those differently. So we're going to actually have basically a list of all the different ways that a person can win and check those indexes and see if a home or a visitor has those 3 indexes in a row. And so in order to check these indexes, we're going to create a new function called private func check indexes, in which we're going to have indexes, and then we're wanting to provide it with an array of integers. These integers, again, will be like 0, 1, 2, and so forth. And then we wanted to return an optional square status. Now, the reason for that is if we don't have a winner, then we want it to be nil. Otherwise, if we do have a winner, then we're going to say, okay, it's home. Let's present an alert, and they won. But before we get carried away with that, let's go ahead and count these integers. So again, moving forward, we say var home counter colon int will be equal to 0, and then var visitor counter colon int will be equal to 0 as well. Then we're going to say for index and indexes, let's say let square equals squares for the index. If square.square status is equal to home, we're going to say home counter plus equals 1. Otherwise, if we say if square status is equal to dot visitor, then we say visitor counter plus equals 1. So therefore, home counter, visitor counter, whoever reaches 3 total counters first is declared a winner. And so in order to declare the winner, we're going to say if home counter is equal to the 3, then we say return home. Else, if visitor counter is equal to 3, then we return the visitor. Otherwise, we return nil. And then finally, I just basically copied and pasted the code that I had previously, but we say if let check equal self.check indexes 0, 1, 2, then 3, 4, 5, then 6, 7, 8, 0, 3, 6, so on and so forth, in which each of these cases is a way for a person to win. And then if either of those cases are true, we return check. And then if none of it's true, we say return.empty, meaning there wasn't a winner, and so forth. And then finally, in order to tell if the game is over, we're going to say var game over, colon, and then this is going to be 2 variables in one, essentially. But it's the square status and the bool. And then inside of this variable, we're going to say get, and then we say if there is a winner is not equal to dot empty, meaning we don't have a winner yet, return there is a winner true. So if there is a winner, then we just return it, and the game over is set to true. Else, let's say we get a stalemate, right? So we say for I in 0 dot 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 8, if squares for the value of I dot square status is equal to dot empty, then we know that people can continue to play the game. If it iterates through each and every box, and it wasn't able to find an empty box, then we automatically know that, hey, the game isn't over, there isn't a winner, but it's a stalemate. And so we return .empty true. And so that game over variable is specifically what we'll use to determine which alert we should present to the user and when we should present it to the user. And then finally, in order to move our AI, we're going to say func move AI var index will be equal to an integer .random between 0 and 8, and then while make move index will be the index and the player will be equal to .visitor is equal to false, and the game over .1, meaning the game isn't over yet, is equal to false. Then we're going to basically pick a new number and try it again. So all this code is really saying is we're going to pick a random number. If that number isn't occupied or is occupied by another person and the game isn't over, then we're going to pick a new number and try it again until we finally make a move. And then finally, inside of our make move, where we had it previously commented, we just say move AI and actually call the function this time. So now back to the start, right? So when we click the button, we want it to do something. So let's go back into our square view. Then we say, when we click the button, we say self.action, open close parentheses. And then what is the action that we want it to call? We're going to say underscore equal self.tic-tac-toe model.makeMove, in which we're going to have an index and the home, as we had before. And then when we press the button, of course, it's going to move the AI, and we're going to determine whether or not the game is over or not. And so here on our view, we want to say at state var game over colon bool will be equal to false. And so when we finally change the game over inside of our tic-tac-toe model, it'll now apply directly to our view. There might be a simpler way to go about this, but this is how I had it set up. And so back inside of our button action, we say self.gameover will be equal to self.tic-tac-toe model.gameover.1. And then now you can play the game, kind of, right? You can click a button, it automatically makes the AI move. You click another button, makes the AI move. But as soon as you win, nothing really happens right now. So we want it to present a final alert. And then finally, to present the alert, we're going to say .alert, in which we're going to have it bind directly to our game over variable. And we finally present an alert view. So alert, open parentheses, with the title, and then we're going to say text game over. And then you can make this a little bit fancier by going on further and determining, the square that won was home, or the square that won was visitor, and you can decide to show a text at who won, who lost, and so on and so forth. As you can see, I kind of did here, self.tic-tac-toe model.gameover.0 is not equal to .empty, blah, 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 blah. And then one final thing I did is inside of the alert, I added a dismiss button. And when I clicked that dismiss button, I called the reset game that occurred inside of our tic-tac-toe model. And so now the game will reset and dismiss the alert. And so now if you were to build and run this, you can easily click, 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 and if you win or it's a stalemate or whatever, it should automatically show an alert to you. And that is how you make tic-tac-toe with SwiftUI. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.